Guardian. So, Hugo, good to have you with us. How do you expect this to play out here in the new year?
Yeah, so I think the committee will be making strides in the new year because they have a lot of evidence of potential Trump White House culpability in the January 6th attack. And they are moving forward with depositions and public hearings. I think it's going to be quite a productive next few weeks for the committee. Right, recently they got the documents from Bernie Kerik, who's an assistant to Giuliani, and that will shed more light on the political operation at the Willard Hotel. And they've also got the Supreme Court case coming up, as you say, with the National Archives holding on to those documents. But experts and the committee believes, at least, that the Supreme Court will not grant cert and that the committee will be able to see the documents that Trump is trying to hide so desperately.
I want to ask you about some of your new reporting this week that the committee is planning to open an inquiry into Donald Trump's phone call to the Willard Hotel that took place just hours before the insurrection, seeking to stop Joe Biden's certification. Walk us through your reporting, and does that just make these White House documents all the more relevant to their investigation?
Yeah, so we reported Monday that the Select Committee is now investigating or intends to investigate Trump's phone calls from the White House to the Willard Hotel, where his political operatives were working out of. This included people like Giuliani, John Eastman, the author of the memo that was presented to Trump that outlined ways to stop the certification. But at the nexus of all the efforts, it sounds like, on January 6th was the Willard Hotel. And so the chairman of the Select Committee, Benny Thompson, told me a couple of weeks ago that they intended to scrutinize Trump's phone calls, especially on the night of January 5, when he called up the lawyers at the Willard Hotel and pressed them on ways to stop Biden certification from taking place on January 6th. And this is really key. And they're going to go through the White House records, if they can obtain them from the National Archives, and see if they can learn anything new about those phone calls.
So, Hugo, as we enter the new year and the 1 year mark since the insurrection, now just a few days away, the Washington Post is reporting that the committee is preparing to enter a more public phase of its investigation. The public phase, what might that look like?
It's basically going to involve open hearings for the public to see. So the Select Committee is unlikely, I think, to issue an interim report in the next few weeks and months. But what they are going to do is they're going to hold a series of televised public hearings where they want to share with the American public what the committee has learned in its closed-door evidence gathering process to date, right? The evidence gathering has been really fruitful. They've spoken to about 300 witnesses, and they have about 30,000 documents now on file from witnesses and Trump administration officials and political operatives, including, of course, Trump's former White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, who turned over a series of really damning messages that seemed to incriminate the White House and Trump's sons and Fox News hosts and Republican members of Congress. So this is a really big deal, I think, and this is going to feature large in how the committee moves forward. They're still going to be doing investigations and evidence gathering on the side, but I think they're going to really ramp up the pace and try and share with the American people what they've learned today.
Hugo Lowell with The Guardian, thanks so much. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining us on this holiday. We appreciate it. That'll do it for me on this edition of Alex Witt Report.